Hello, and thank you for being here again watching my videos. I'm really grateful that you take the time to watch them and see what I'm going to waffle on about today. So today I want to talk about cycles. Now, I know that in life we can go round and round in cycles about different situations in our life, and they're usually for a reason. So for example, you might find yourself time and time again in the same situation regarding relationships or even regarding work or friendships and people. And when this happens, most people who aren't self-aware find themselves thinking or saying things like, I can't believe this has happened to me again. Why does this keep happening to me? I'm trying, and start to become quite bitter and angry about life, and they haven't got a clue why this keeps happening to them. However, to be honest with you, to be quite harshly honest with you, it's usually always the person's fault. Now, this isn't to be like a video that's to start making you like have a go at yourself or start being mean to yourself. It's just about starting to take responsibility for how things are going in your life. I know many times in my life where I found myself revisiting the same situation often, that I would miss the point. The point was I was not learning my lesson, and two, I was the biggest factor in that cycle, because nothing about me had changed. My approach hadn't changed. What I was thinking hadn't changed. My perspective was the same. So how was anything going to be different? And it wasn't until I took responsibility for my thoughts and the way that I was approaching things that things started to change. It's all about how you see yourself, not how you see other people, how you see yourself, because how you see yourself is how you will put yourself forward in situations. Now, obviously, if you have a hard time in a friendship or a relationship or a situation at work, and it's kind of a one-off, fair enough. However, if you find yourself continuously on the same treadmill of the same situation, then it's you. I've got to be honest, and it's a harsh reality, and it's something that I've had to tell myself before, and something that we generally don't like to hear, because we tend to be like to point outwards, because that offloads. It takes responsibility of us to learn or change, and we just get to just blame somebody else, and nothing changes as a result of that, as you can imagine. So the only time things change is when you decide to take responsibility. Maybe I still don't believe in my self-worth. I miss signs. I'm not listening when other people are talking, so they might be communicating a certain way, and I'm not hearing it because all I'm doing is thinking about what I think. You might have anxieties and fears that are affecting how you relate to people, how you see yourself in relationships, and when I say relationships, I mean friendships, work, romantic relationships. So it's really important that you get yourself together and do that inner work. Because if I'm honest, once you start to do that, you will realise your part in situations. You will realise the part that you played in that friendship breaking down or that relationship breaking down. You might have said some things. You might have had your expectations too high. You might have not known your own self-worth in that situation, and were giving off an energy that was offloading onto the person, and they picked up on it. And this isn't, like I said, this isn't so you can go away and blame yourself. This is so you can take responsibility and finally get a handle on things, so you become empowered instead of thinking that everything is out of your control, because everything is actually in your control. You've just got to stop looking outwards and stop looking for outward situations to complete your self-worth, or how you see yourself, or how situations go, or how they go along. the more that you feel that things are in your power, and the more that you look at yourself in situations, the more that you will see change. I know and seen people all the time that tend to point the finger outwards all the time. Look at this person, look what they've done, but they never look at themselves, never. And so, you know, they've had relationship breakdowns, friendship breakdowns, everything, but they still fail to look within. And it's like, come on, look at that, come on, like just look within. And honestly, it's hard. You don't really want to think, oh, this is all my fault. And it's not even so you do that and you get really down on yourself. It's so you can take responsibility and change things, because nobody wants to live on a continuous cycle where things are breaking down, friendships are moving away, we're missing opportunities all the time, our relationships are always not working out. You have got to look at your part in those situations, and also understand that your way of doing things isn't always the same way as somebody else's way of doing things, and being considerate. So not just thinking, this is how I think, this is how I feel. You've got to remember other people operate differently. And if you truly want to work with that other person, then you will come from an understanding, open-minded place to want to work with that person to change it. If you're going to come off with a blaming, pointing the finger, you're not coming from a resolution-based mindset. You were just looking to blame, have an argument probably, and go nowhere. But if you come from a place of love and resolution, you will look at, you know, they might say something, and instead of getting defensive, think, yeah, I didn't realise I was coming across like that. I'm so sorry. I did not intend to come across that way. I mean, there's a saying that says, if I hurt you, I can't tell you that I didn't, if that makes sense. So, for example, if I do something to somebody and I generally think that, you know, they shouldn't be offended by that, it's not my job to tell them not to be offended. If they're offended, they are offended, and just say sorry. You know, it's not a thing of just you know, your intentions might always be good, but they're not always received. So in that instance, just say sorry, because everybody's going through different things. So the joke you might crack might not be funny to them one day. Just say sorry. It's just one of those things. Lose your ego, look at yourself, look at within. And I honestly believe once you do that and take responsibility, take hold, you will notice a lot of the cycles in your life will change. You know, I often see and work with a lot of people that tend to say, I've done this and I've done this and it's not working, it's not working. Why do you keep doing it then? You know, it's a matter of just stopping and looking at what you're doing and saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. And maybe I am simplifying it a little bit here, but honestly, it's sometimes as simple as that, because we do overcomplicate things in life, and things do become a lot more workable and a lot more simple when we look at ourselves and look at the actions that we are taking and think, how can I go about that differently? Who else can I go to? What can I do to change? Always look at yourself. You know, no one's saying that we don't get toxic people in our lives and people are bad for us. But again, we've got to look at ourselves and think about why we attracted those people. I've had times in my life where I've had toxic people around. And I've got to be honest, I was that toxic person too. You know, I might have been nice. I might have had nice intentions and good intentions. However, I had things about me that weren't quite right and quite resolved. So in that respect, if they were toxic, then if they were toxic, then I was too, because I was quite okay being around them at, you know, for quite a point in my life. So I must take responsibility for that. Not blame myself, not beat myself up, take responsibility, because responsibility comes with change, you know? So take the power back in your life and break those cycles. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you took something from there, and I'll see you in the next video. If you have any suggestions for what I should talk about next, please feel free to email me, leave a comment, anything, and yeah, let's do it. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.